Welcome to Mr. Beebop. Tommy and Tuppence are two fictional detectives, recurring characters in the work of Agatha Christie. Their full names are Thomas Beresford and his wife Prudence, née Cowley. Tommy and Tuppence first appeared in Christie's The Secret Adversary in 1922. They started out their career in search of adventure and money, and the detecting life soon proved profitable and very exciting. The adventures of Tommy and Tuppence take them through 4 novels and a collection of 15 short stories, which spanned the length of Agatha Christie's career. Tuppence appears as a charismatic, impulsive, and intuitive person, while Tommy is less imaginative and less likely to be diverted from the truth. As their first adversary sums him up, he is not clever, but it is hard to blind his eyes to the facts, which is why they are shown to make a good team. It is in the first book, The Secret Adversary, that they meet up after the war, and come to realize that, although they have been friends for most of their lives, they have now fallen in love with each other. Christie describes Tommy's face as pleasantly ugly, nondescript yet unmistakably the face of a gentleman. Their stories were the ones Agatha Christie enjoyed writing the most, and she took real pleasure from her bright young things as she refers to them. Christie often used the Beresfords to experiment with thrillers, playing with and often parodying the genre. The short story collection, Partners in Crime, takes this to an extreme. Each case is solved in the vein of a different famous literary detective, including Hercule Poirot. Unlike many other recurring detective characters, including the better-known Christie detectives, Tommy and Tuppence aged in time with the real world, being in their early 20s in The Secret Adversary and in their 70s in Postern of Fate. In their early appearances, they are portrayed as typical young people of the 1920s, and the stories and settings have a more pronounced period-specific flavor than other stories featuring more popular Christie characters. They have raised 3 children, twins Deborah and Derek, and an adopted daughter Betty. Throughout the series, they employ a man named Albert, who first appears as a lift boy who helps them in The Secret Adversary. Their hapless assistant at a private detective agency in Partners in Crime, and subsequently, as a now married pub owner, renders vital assistance to the pair in N or M. By Postern of Fate, he has become the Beresford's butler and has now been widowed. In Postern of Fate, the Beresfords also own a small dog named Hannibal. Thomas Tommy Beresford is introduced as a young red-headed Englishman who fought in the Great War, wounded twice. Prudence Tuppence Cowley is introduced as a young woman with black bobbed hair. She is one of several children of a conservative archdeacon and served in the voluntary aid detachment during the Great War. Their first adventure was published in 1922. Young Tuppence Cowley bumps into old friend Tommy Beresford at Dover Street Tube Station. It's just after World War I, and jobs are scarce, and both characters are unemployed. So Tuppence comes up with a plan, and they agree to start their own business and form Young Adventures Limited. Their advertisement reads, "Willing to do anything, go anywhere, no unreasonable offer refused." They are soon hired by Mr. Carter, a British intelligence leader. They are asked to search for Jane Finn, a survivor of RMS Lusitania's sinking, who disappeared along with documents of a secret treaty. Following the successful conclusion of their first case, Tommy is chosen as the heir of a rich uncle. Having fallen in love during the case, Tommy and Tuppence get engaged to marry. Their second recorded case has them hired by Mr. Carter again, on behalf of a government intelligence agency. They are placed as the new owners of the International Detective Agency, a recently cleaned-out spy stronghold. Their real mission is to intercept enemy messages, but in the meantime, they handle their agency's cases. The two successfully apprehend Number 16, a Soviet spy, and then decide to give up the agency. At that point, Tuppence reveals to Tommy that she is pregnant. Their third recorded case takes place during World War II, and the couple has reached their middle age. They had retired from British intelligence decades ago, and they were feeling sidelined. They are recruited by British intelligence again to hunt German spies and fifth columnists. Their years out of service mean that they are unknown to traitors within British intelligence. Their fourth case takes place when the two are a mature couple. Tommy's Aunt Ada dies in the retirement home Sunny Ridge. And Ada's acquaintance Mrs. Lancaster disappears soon afterwards. Tuppence is determined to locate the missing woman, and in the process, learns of an unsolved series of child murders. Tuppence slowly realizes that she may be the killer's next victim. Their fifth and last case takes place when the couple are elderly and at least in their 70s. They have reached their retirement years and purchase an old house in a quiet village in order to live out their retirement in peace. But an old book within the house contains a coded message concerning the unnatural death of Mary Jordan. The elderly couple decide to investigate the cold case. The Secret Adversary was the first Christie feature film ever made. Adapted by the Fox Film Corporation in 1928 as a silent movie for Germany, whose title translates as Adventures Incorporated. Character names from the book were changed for the film. It wasn't until 1953 that the couple appeared in an English adaptation, this time on BBC Radio in a series of half-hour episodes adapted from the collection Partners in Crime. They were played by Richard Attenborough and his real-life wife Sheila Sim, and took advantage of their then-current starring roles on stage in The Mousetrap. In 1984, the Partners in Crime television series aired on London Weekend Television, starring James Warwick and Francesca Annis as Tommy and Tuppence. It featured 10 of the 15 short stories from the collection. The two actors made a convincing couple, and the lavish sets and costumes from the 1920s made this a popular series. They appeared again in 1985 with a full-length television film of The Secret Adversary. The novel By the Pricking of My Thumbs was adapted in 2005 by the French director Pascal Thomas. The French film casts André Dussolier as Tommy, renamed Bélisaire, and Catherine Frott as Prudence Beresford. A sequel film came out in 2008, named after Partners in Crime and stars the Beresfords, but its story is based on 450 from Paddington, which was originally a novel starring Miss Marple. A third film is very loosely based, to the point of being unrecognizable, on one of the stories in Partners in Crime. An adaptation of By the Pricking of My Thumbs appeared in 2006 as an episode of the television series Agatha Christie's Marple, even though Christie did not write Miss Marple into the original story. In this version, Tommy and Tuppence were played by Anthony Andrews and Greta Scacchi respectively. But unlike in the book, Miss Marple and Tuppence play the detective roles while Tommy is away on intelligence business. In 2015, BBC Television aired Partners in Crime, adapting two classic Tommy and Tuppence stories, The Secret Adversary and NRM. It starred David Walliams as Tommy and Jessica Raine as Tuppence. Thank you for watching. See you again next time.